My makeshift glove. It's pretty lackluster, and I'm missing a stone, but... Hi everyone, my name is Tamara Chambers, and this is Tamara Just Saw. And Tamara just saw Avengers Endgame. This is gonna be a no spoiler reaction video. No spoilers to be had. If you would have told me when little baby Tamara walked her ass in to see Iron Man 1, that it would eventually lead to this film, I would have cried just as much as I cried during Endgame. I had the single best theater experience that I've ever had watching a movie in a theater. Again, theater experience. I felt surrounded by people who were just as invested in this as me. Heather posted something really great on Twitter about how we're all different level of fan, and that doesn't mean that we can't all enjoy it. And I felt that in the theater. There was just so many people just so pumped out of their minds, excited to see this, and oh my God, the energy was amazing. I full volume yelled yes like 10 times. And I was surrounded by people screaming and laughing throughout and like just sobbing at the end. You hear these broken people brokenly sobbing in the back, and it was amazing. It sounded weird. It was so great how people were sad. This movie is 3 hours. I don't know if you know anything about my movie-going experience, but I tend to not enjoy very, very long movies, and this was not that. I felt like it was an hour and a half. At one point, the guy next to me reached over to his son and was like, "It's already been an hour and a half." So we were halfway through, and it felt like it had been 20 minutes. It was so easy to watch. It was so entertaining throughout. There's, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 are vastly different from each other, and I think that they build so well to get to Act 3, and it feels so deserved. I can't imagine that anyone's going to be too upset with the pacing of this movie if they're going in wanting to enjoy it. Sure, if you don't like superhero films, you probably don't want to sit through a 3-hour one that has a lot of inside jokes, like inside information. So yeah, sure, probably not. But if you're somebody who has been watching these films, or just loves them in general, but specifically, if you've been watching these films since Iron Man 1, and you watch them all, and you're waiting for this resounding end game, then I can't imagine you're not going to just feel pure joy throughout watching it. I was filled with joy the whole time. I posted on Twitter that I had seen it and that I had thought that it was at least impactful. I don't know that I really evoked any emotion of positivity or negativity, but I loved it. And I got a lot of people responding that they didn't know how to feel about it, or that they didn't love it. That's story of my movie-going life. I tend to love big epics like this, especially in the superhero or sci-fi, Star Wars kind of realms. I just really enjoy them. It seems like this amazing feat that they had done this. You get some incredible scenes, specifically the end. Holy, and the emotion that is brought out in this freaking film is insanity. Crazy, insane that we feel these strong emotions about superheroes who, God, in the 90s, I just keep thinking back to the past of superhero movies and what Marvel has done, and DC, but in this instance, what Marvel has done for superhero films and nerd culture, and it's so exciting, and so you feel the weight of that when you're watching it, and it's just, I was smiling and crying throughout. Again, there's a little boy sitting next to me, and he kept looking up at me. I think genuinely worried that this adult woman was sobbing so much. And it wasn't sad sobbing either, some of it, sure, but Mostly it was just, I'm just so happy to be watching this. They do awesome things with time travel, though probably not. I would say that's the one moment in the movie where the time travel really doesn't link up at all. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. I have to see this 17 more times. Literally, it ended, and I was like, I would legit sit through this again right now. It was just so good. But the time travel kind of didn't make that much sense. And I think the only reason why it stood out to me is because they made a joke about it in the film. They were like, oh, it's not going to be like, you know, the movies where they get it wrong. They list some movies and that I knew the reference to because of Tamara's Never Seen, Tamara just saw, thank you. And then they went off and then they did those things. So that kind of stuck out. After watching Infinity Wars, I knew that when I was going into this, that I would be expecting, that was a weird sentence that I just said, I'm very excited. I knew going into this, because of Infinity War and because of contracts ending, I went into this thinking that I knew who was going to make it out and who was not going to make it out. And I was pleasantly surprised, and you know, not pleasantly surprised, sad, but it made sense. You get a resolution at the end that feels right and still leaves things open for the future, but it feels like the end of an era. It feels like everything they've been working towards from Iron Man 1 up until now has a resolution. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. I loved it so much. It's so much fun to just go in and sit back and revel in this amazing thing that they've done. It's so much fun. I loved it. 20 seconds in, there's a joke about putting ketchup on hot dogs. That went over smashingly in my theater. It's the thing in Chicago. You're not supposed to put ketchup on your hot dogs. They get really mad about it. I wrote somber opening. I would say the first 2/3 is pretty well, no, the whole movie's pretty somber. And then you get just juicy, beautiful emotion throughout and incredible character work and just building of characters. And you see people you haven't seen in a long time. There's splashes of incredible action. The third act has some of the best action I've ever seen in movie history ever done. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Amazing. It's a long, sad movie for sure, but I left not having taken that from it. I know that in theory, I know, and in practice it's a long, sad movie, but I left not having gotten a long, sad movie from it. I left having gotten so much more, and I think that's because they deserve to take the time they took in the sad moments and in the lingering parts. I wrote an emotional chasm. It's the third note that I wrote, and I have pages of notes, so that should tell you how emotional this movie is. I wrote Captain Marvel is so much cooler in this movie, and I liked Captain Marvel. Send your hate now. Just let it flood in. I feed off of it. Not really, I don't. But I enjoyed Captain Marvel, and I thought she was way better utilized in this. She wasn't used that much, but when I go back and think about it, only the core group really was, and Nebula, who I love. There were characters who didn't get a ton of screen time, and she was one of those, but she has one of the best scenes in the film. Hands down, just the coolest. And I think some of her quick quips, there's one to Spider-Man, and I really enjoyed her in this film a lot. I wrote that I'm weirdly and wildly attracted to the Hulk in this movie. Sorry about it, I can't help it, but I am, and that's just where we're at, and we're gonna move on from it. Okay, this might be a spoiler, but it's not like a crucial spoiler. But Thor has gained some weight since all of that shenanigan went down in Infinity War, and I just wrote Fat Thor is so relatable. Also, throughout the film, you see people just mad sprinting to the bathroom to pee and like mad sprinting back so you don't miss anything. I read this article before going in about what time to go to the bathroom. A type 1 diabetic, I drink a lot of fluids. I'm gonna have to pee. I get pee anxiety. I'm gonna have to pee. I have to pee just talking about peeing right now. Pee. I found that the best time to go, which is because that's when I went and I found out from my brother that I missed absolutely nothing was when they meet Hulk to have lunch. So if you haven't seen it and you're going to see it, it's in the first half, so I didn't even really have to go that bad, but I was like, I definitely will at the end, and I do not want to miss anything then. So when Hulk goes to lunch, there you go. Do it then. Literally, you won't miss anything. We got a cameo from someone that I did not think we would ever see in a Marvel film again. Again, a lot of cameos from people that I wasn't expecting that were just pleasant surprises. It made me want to rewatch a lot of these origin stories again. I need to watch Captain America again. He was such a insane delight in this film. He accounted for like 6 of my scream yeses. And also, when I say that, everyone was excited and clapping and yelling. It wasn't just me standing up in the theater yelling, "Yes, Queen!" I promise. But Captain America was so good and emotional and powerful and badass and funny in times. I can't, Hulk is hot. I had to write it twice. I just wrote, I orgasmed 7 times. Not literally, but figuratively. I wrote incredible Captain America moment, insane fight, absolute unit, best theater experience I've ever had. Also, best Marvel film I've ever seen. Did I just say that? It came out of my mouth, and I think it's true. Best Marvel film. There's a girl gang moment that's just, does it make a lot of sense? No. But I loved it. It was awesome. It was awesome. Just let me have it. Part of the journey is the end. I can't believe it. It was so good. Man, I think I'm gonna go see it again today. I just can't stop thinking about it. I didn't go to sleep until like 5 a.m. last night because I could not stop thinking about it. It's pretty telling to my character that I can't sit through The Godfathers Part 1 and 2 because they're 3 hours long. But this, I was like, wow, it felt like 10 minutes. Amazing! Bravo! So take that with a grain of salt also, as you will. Thank you so much for watching. I had the best time with this. It was absolutely a delight. Emotional, funny, impactful, heavy. I will see you all next week with something vastly less interesting, I'm sure, because this was lit. Bye. Bye! Also, I'm gonna be posting a spoiler-filled review on my Patreon, if you're interested in that. If you know. Bye! That is America's ass.